Welcome to the video guide about LDAP requests in SERAS. Part 2. As mentioned earlier, you can use regular expressions in the service. For example, you need to select all given name starting with R and D. As a result, you will get names starting with those letters in the query results. You can write regular expressions of any complexity for your purposes. For writing your expressions you can use Apache Directory Studio, which has a function, Quick Search, and in it you can use Filter Editor. In the Filter Editor, you can write any expression for a filter. Click Format. And if the format is correct, the service will recognize it and divide it into cells. If there is an error in the format, it will be underlined with red. Now let's look at the Add query. In this video we are adding users. It is to see that there is an error sent by LDAP that we are missing a field. However, all the basic fields were added and all of them have a value. In this case it is worth checking service configurations. Here we see that the main field SN is missing. Let's add it here in the list of service attributes. It's important to set a rule that we can add it while creating a query. Now let's save the changes and restart the service. With the modified configurations, this query will be sent successfully. To avoid writing repetitive query parameters over and over again, we can reduce the effort by adding all the main values for each attribute in the configurations. In the end, it will look like the following: all the main fields were moved, and the default values were set. Click Save, and restart SERAS. And now you can remove the object class from the query. Here one should be replaced by 2. Let's check. Okay, the second user was added successfully. Next, let's look at the delete query along with the audit query in Elasticsearch. In order to record an audit in Elasticsearch, you need to enable Audit in Elasticsearch in SERAS configurations first. Then you add an index in which the service will send logs. Optionally, you can add additional fields with information that you want to see in Elasticsearch. Also, it's important to add the transport port, cluster name, and the host to which the data for Elasticsearch will be sent. Let's save the modified configurations and restart the service. In this query we want to delete all users with the specific value CN. In the audit query we will add our custom field, for example, delete attempt, and give a reason why we need to run the following query. Click Send. In the query results we see an error that the searched object could not be found. The reason for the error is that we need to delete the third object, but we are trying to delete the fourth one. Let's correct the error. We managed to perform deletion, which can be seen by the status 200. As a result of the query, we see that the object was deleted. Now let's check the audit. What can we see here? There was an error earlier. It is to see here as well as other data. The data from the additional audit. We can also audit our request. Auditing is very useful to analyze requests, to find out what queries were performed, and what errors appeared as a result of query execution. Let's now look at the modification request. It's pretty simple and includes the following steps: add an attribute, remove the old value in the attribute, and replace the attribute completely. Initially, there was the following object. When sending the request, an error appeared, because this object was already modified earlier. And this phone number is no longer in the object. Let's try again. This time everything is successful. Now let's update the object. In total, given name was replaced with a new value. 2 new numbers were added and the old number was deleted. Let's move on to input and output scripts. Custom scripts allow you to change both queries as well as output data and responses. Each of these parameters can be changed or used in your scripts. Output data can also be modified to meet your requirements. Now the most important thing: how to write such scripts. Basically, scripts are used to modify output, what we get as a result of sending a request to the LDAP server. Output, the entire response to the query, is stored in the data, which also has an all instances variable and which we can examine. An example script can be seen below. In this script we find all the values of output, all the values of our object, and enter the key, attribute and its value. And we also look for all values that will start with a demo.ch and replace them with an asterisk. This example of a script requests all attributes, some secure attributes on some parameter, to be replaced with an asterisk. So, how to connect the script? In the SERAS directory you need to create a folder called Scripts, and place there a script file in JS format, a JavaScript file. SERAS uses a special engine that runs on JavaScript, and it can execute JavaScript files and JavaScript methods. Within it, JavaScript classes can be used and operated on. All in all, it is not a simple process. Therefore, the best solution is to contact the SKyPRO support team if you need to modify or create a script. We will help you to understand and create the right script. So, as already mentioned, in this script we change certain data on some parameter to an asterisk. Roughly speaking, encrypt data. In order to connect the script, we need to select and copy this method. Paste it into the output script, the script we will modify. Next, we need to send a request. An important thing that will be useful in development is to run SERAS locally, so that we can see what the script outputs to the console. To do this, we need to stop the service in the test environment and run it locally. We must have Java installed. Run it with the same command. What will it give us? Having processed the request, we can see that in the field where there was email, now the data is encrypted in the format of asterisks. This is the result of processing the modify output script. In the console you can see that the modify output script was started. And it went through all the parameters, all the attributes of our object. It was found that the object has data of 2 emails, which corresponds to 2 encrypted email addresses in the response to the request, where they were replaced with asterisks. The command also displayed some additional data from the fields we added earlier. An obligatory and key parameter. The result of the script processing must be transmitted by data. With the help of scripts in the request to create an object, you can always write your own logic. And CN will be created with the help of a script. That is, it will not be necessary to send it in the request. But again, scripts are used as a last resort, if there is no other way, because it is a difficult thing to develop and test. So, again, if you have something that does not work, you can contact our support service. We will help you understand or write a custom script for your needs.